So this is the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, and you may have seen my unboxing video that I put out a few hours ago, but I'm down in London, hence the hotel room, where I've been playing around with it, testing out the camera, the battery, etc. And I just wanted to give you a slightly more detailed first impressions review kind of thing that may give you slightly more real world use information than you possibly may have seen already. My experience within the first 24 hours or 25 hours might be more fitting. Don't forget to subscribe for far more coverage on this, including camera and battery drain tests, etc. But really there have been 5 key upgrades from what I've seen. And they are performance, camera, software, display, as well as the minor visual changes to the bezels, frame and camera design. The first time you pick the Galaxy S25 Ultra up, there is no denying you feel it's a big phone. However, it's slightly comfier to hold than the S24 Ultra, as it's ever so slightly thinner and lighter, and crucially, we've gone from rounded edges and sharp corners to sharper, flatter edges and rounded corners, closer to the Z Fold 6. And this means the S25 Ultra doesn't cut into your hands as much as the previous phone. On performance, when benchmarking the new Snapdragon 8 Elite 4 Galaxy over the previous 8 Gen 3 4 Galaxy in the S24 Ultra, I noticed a fairly large improvement. And according to Samsung, it has a 40% enhanced NPU performance, 37% CPU improvement for all of your fairly standard day-to-day tasks, and 30% GPU for gaming, video editing, etc. I also compared it to the standard 8 Elite in the OnePlus 13, the A18 Pro in the iPhone 16 Pro Max, and the Mediatek Dimensity 9400 in the Vivo X200 Pro Plus. All top tier, we're splitting hairs, but if you want the numbers, there they are. There's also better ray tracing capabilities over the S24 Ultra and a 40% enlarged vapor chamber for better thermal efficiency. And I think there's even an 18% improvement to frame rate as well when gaming. And while I haven't spent days and days of testing the gaming performance with this, over the last few hours I have had a go at Genshin Impact, Call of Duty and Asphalt, and it does feel like a slight step up from last year's model for sure. They've also updated the display. We now have a 6.9-inch Quad HD Plus Dynamic AMOLED 2X panel, which features a new Pro Scaler technology that uses AI processing to apparently improve the image quality by up to 40% over the S24 Ultra, for better details, colour reproduction and outdoor visibility, as well as greater power efficiency. Now, again, in practice, in reality, can I notice the difference over the S24 Ultra? Yes-ish. It's not a huge jump, but side by side you can notice certain little image quality differences. Would that be a reason to upgrade alone? Probably not, but again, we're just sort of adding these little things as we go. Now, one area I would have liked to have seen them improve with the display is the refresh rate. We have a 120Hz panel again, which is fine, it's nice and smooth, but slightly safe maybe compared to some of the other manufacturers that are producing 144Hz or 185, for example. And there's a similar feeling with the battery too. There's been no upgrade to the 45 watt fast charging, which you still have to buy separately as well. And we have a 5000 mAh battery again, which is not terrible. It's perfectly fine. It gives you decent battery performance in the time that I've used it. You know, I'm going to be getting all day use without the need to charge, 6-7 hours screen on time. But the growing trend since the end of last year is to actually pack larger battery capacities into the same, if not smaller, shells. Thanks to the recent development in battery tech, phones are squeezing 6,000, 6,500, 7,000 cells even into similar sized phones, like the OnePlus 13, for example, which is actually even thinner than the OnePlus 12 with a larger battery. So this again just feels a little bit safe. Now, one more possible negative before I go back to some of the great things, and that's the fact that I can't understand why they've chosen to actually take features away from the S Pen. Now, for reference, I'm someone who uses the S Pen, not a huge amount, but I do use it. Got your S Pen? Pop up. It's not inside your phone. I know it's not. I'm talking to the guys here about your S Pen. I don't need you to tell me that it's not in my... I know it's not in my... Yeah? I'll show you that, in case you're not sure what I'm talking about. Where were we? Yes, S Pen features. So they've taken away, because apparently customers from previous generations of phones were not really using them, these features. Air Actions, number 1, is now gone, and you can't take photos using the S Pen with the little button on the side. It's also harder to get it out for some reason. I can't. Maybe it's just me. Now, maybe it's true. Maybe many of you didn't use those features. I didn't really use gestures that much. The Air Actions, not really a massive fan of. But I did use the pen to take photos. If I'm in a group, set the phone up, walk into the group, ping the shot with this, dead easy. Or if I want to snap a quick shot of me doing something for the gram, then again, using that was quite cool because you could keep it out of shot. It would look like someone else was taking the photo. That's a really handy tool. But let me know in the comments whether you think these were good features and whether you've used these features previously. Now, while I've been talking about camera, let's talk camera. And this is another hardware upgrade. I'm not actually a massive fan of the camera lens design compared to last year. It looks slightly less premium maybe in my opinion, but when you open the camera app and snap away, you will notice greater details from that new 50 megapixel ultra wide lens, and the phone seems to be able to capture better moving images than the S24 Ultra. Think family pictures, pets. This is probably going to be a decent step up. You've got 10-bit HDR video recording, which is now applied by default, offering 4 times richer colours compared to 8-bit. And Samsung have collaborated with Qualcomm, adding a spatial temporal filter within the chip itself to improve low-light camera performance, and low-light videos seem clearer too. It's able to do this as the Galaxy S25 Ultra analyses movement and time to reduce noise more effectively. It's able to detect stationary things from moving things, which is pretty cool. And this helps to produce sharper and just cleaner looking footage on the whole. The other lenses include a f1.7 200 megapixel wide, a 50 megapixel f3.4 telephoto lens with 5 times optical zoom, and a 10 megapixel f2.4 telephoto lens with 3 times optical zoom. And following on from their previously excellent zoom shots, I think we're going to have another killer king again this year, or queen, or not royalty, if you're not a fan of the monarchy. And rounding off, we have the front selfie camera, which is a 12 megapixel f2.2 sensor and an 80-degree field of view. I would have liked to have seen maybe a more substantial upgrade on that front camera. I think it's been 12 for a while now, and again, other manufacturers have pushed the boat out when it comes to higher megapixel counts for better details and clarity, etc. And I think while they are still very, very good, they could be better. You also have cool tricks like audio eraser that simplifies the removal of unwanted noise, virtual aperture, which allows you to manually shift how blurred you want the background, really easy to do on a slider. And while, as you've seen, the hardware upgrades are there, there's also a heavy focus on software. There's kind of a sense that's been growing amongst the consumers that phones have got so good over the last few years that finding those individual breakthrough moments of technology to make such a hardware upgrade is becoming more and more difficult. So manufacturers are focusing more on software and AI. And again, the S25 Ultra is no different. Samsung refer to the all-new One UI 7 over Android 15 as the AI platform of the future. But what exactly is new? Well, one key update to Galaxy AI is that it now understands context. So thanks to their relationship with Google, the S25 series has got even smarter. So if you're watching a video, listening to music, browsing something on the internet, you can swipe across from the right-hand side and press AI Select. And using AI, it recognizes what you're doing and what you might want to do or know. Also, searching for photos or videos in your gallery has become easier, as you can simply ask things like, show me photos of my trip to Hawaii last year. And boom, job's a good un, there they all are. And a bit of a game changer because you can theoretically say, oh, remember that great photo where I was hanging off a giraffe's neck? That's never happened, so I don't know why that would be in my photo gallery. But if it was, I would be able to find it. Me hanging off a giraffe. And the same rule applies with your settings as well. You don't know where something is, you simply ask and One UI 7 will suggest all of the customizations that may suit your needs and what you're looking for. Another cool feature is having the power button on the side as a kind of personal concierge. A press and hold activates Google's Gemini, which is a long way from the days of the button and Bixby. And you can basically have your phone run errands for you. And I don't mean go to the shops or drive your car, but you can ask it to add things like the fixtures from all of Chelsea's games this season, because of course they are the best team on the planet, right? Is it just me that thinks that, or? You can even take photos of ingredients in your fridge and ask it to find you a recipe based on those specific items that you have. So you're not ordering from Uber Eats or Deliveroo every night. Yes, I'm talking to you. And this phone has cross-app action, so this will work with Samsung and Google apps and even some third-party apps too. So in theory, we're heading more towards a norm where we're not actually manually going into individual apps anymore. And with the help of AI systems, we're being guided through the phone as a whole interface. And there's also two other things software-wise. We have the first, the Now Brief, which shows you how you slept, upcoming weather, calendars, reminders and snapshots from your most used news sources, etc. when you wake up in the morning, for example, and it also gives you a rundown at the end of the day about how your day's been. Shows you images that you've taken and suggestions of calendar, upcoming things, etc. that you've got to look out for, which is handy for those that lose track of what's going on in life, like me. And then you have the Now bar, which, dare I say it, is a little bit like the dynamic island on the iPhone, whereby you can control music, videos, maps, etc. and get calendar reminders, for example, all without unlocking your phone. And speaking of locking, you have Samsung Knox, which helps keep all of that information, all of your data, etc. when using AI and the phone as a whole safe and secure. So for £1,249 starting from, going up to $1,549 for the 1TB model, I'm a little bit torn on first impressions because there are definitely some big improvements here, and there are even parts of the design that I really like. I think from front on and also the feel in the hand, it's great. It looks, I think, better than the previous generation. However, when I turn it round, it doesn't look as good. Then you've got the performance upgrades, the display upgrades, the camera upgrades, that certainly if you're coming from a 2 or 3 year older phone will be huge for you. From the S24 Ultra, maybe not as much. And again, that battery capacity staying the same is one of the biggest disappointments. They are my first impressions within the first day of use. Subscribe for far more content on the S25 Ultra coming up very soon. Oh, and I'll try and leave a link in the video description below with a discount code for the S25 Ultra if you want to pre-order. I think you get £100 off, maybe even more. I'm not sure, but I'll put it there if you fancy nabbing a bit of a bargain. Check out some of my other videos I think you might enjoy here. My name's Adam. You've been the best as always. I love you, leave you. I'll see you in the next one. ASBYT. Peace out.